conceptual way so that when you also building your applications, you can understand the various concepts or requirement that is needed to be able to build them. Then we would also explain the importance of collaboration and teamwork in businesses and how they are supported by technology. We'll assess the role of information system function in business. Now, to make the class interactive, we'll use this first few minutes to discuss this case. Now, I'm sure most of you may have heard about the GES selection and placement of students. You realize that most of the time when it comes to, that's in Ghana here, when it comes to students who are moving to the, as in the upper echelons like SHS, normally you would realize that these students go through what they call the computerized selection process. You write your WASI, before your WASI or prior to your WASI, you would have made some selections. And after making these selections, what happened is that you would then be required to kind of select the schools. After you've made the selections, maybe you should hit a particular grade, and then you'll be assigned. I'm sure quite a number of you were assigned to various schools. If you were part of the GES placement selection process, you can show by hand in the chat. Please do show by hand in the chat if you're part. If you went to, when you were going to your XSS or SHS, you were placed electronically. Please show hand in the chat. All right. Okay. So, but then as at last year, okay, so I can see 3 hands are up. So Emmanuel, okay, good. Mohammed, all right. So okay, General, all right. So General, which school were you placed?
So please,
did you get a school that you chose? Pardon me?
Yes, please. I got to my secondary school though.
Oh, okay. Adora, please, who is Adora?
So it's Jason.
When you also building your application, please, who is Adora?
So please, it's Jason.
Okay, so Jason, what school did you apply?
Infantipim.
Infantipim. Okay, and did you get Infantipim?
Yes, sir.
So, who chose a specific school and did not get that school? A Jay's iPhone. Yeah. Which school did you choose, and did you get the school?
Yes. I chose Presec and I got it.
Oh, okay. Iris, I'm not seeing your hand up. Or you went to which school?
Every Girls.
Okay, you are not part of the GES selection placement.
No. Wait, what?
Oh.
GES selection. I was.
Hey, sister, are you online?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you select Every Girls and you got it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. At least I would say that the number of people in the class, I saw Mohammed's hand up. Emmanuel, I guess you also got the school you chose, right?
Sir, please, no.
Okay, good. Yeah. So what school did you choose and what school did you get?
I chose Accra Academy, but I had Chemu Senior High.
Was Chemu part of your selections?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mohammed, what about you?
Yes, my first choice was Ghana School, but I didn't get my first choice. I got my third choice.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you would bear with me that I think last year, please, if you know there is no background noise at where you are, you can turn on your mic so that it can be a bit interactive, okay? So, Ashad, I think last year or a year before last year, we had a lot of complaints coming from parents that they had selected certain schools, especially people from remote areas, to schools that were far off from where their parents would have wished them to be. Did you hear of any news like that? Please, you can, if you know your background is not noisy, you can try to jump in and answer. All right. Yeah. So did you hear of any news like that? What I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we did.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, so we did.
Oh, good. So please, I need some feedback because we are having online. So I'm repeating again. If your background is not noisy, just please unmute yourself so that when I ask some questions, you can be giving me feedback, which would indicate that you are listening. All right. Okay. So
All right.
this very issue that happened, the GES was a big issue. And you realize that the parents, what they were talking about, I think maybe if I can get on YouTube right now, you could get a particular, so let me see if I can get a news article out there. You could hear that people were talking about the computer has done the computer. And that was quite frustrating, right? Because, yeah, so let me just quickly share with you my screen here. And we will just take a look at this and then we would come back to our discussion. So let's open this up. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi,
Hello.
sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's it in? Hey.
Please, can you hear me? I think
Yes,
my
sir.
network.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir.
Can you also hear the sound of the news? Hello? Guys, please, can you hear the sound of the news?
It's that time of the and JHS graduates are hoping to continue climbing up the education ladder by placement into senior high schools. Well, it seems that computerized school selection and placement, CSSPS, seems to be frustrating parents, guardians, and students alike. In this episode of News Connect, we'll be hearing from some of the affected Ghanaians. My name is Akosia Ofenwa Opoku, and this is News Connect on City TV. Stay tuned.
My brother got and grade 8. And he said, why would you do that? And grade 8, sorry. Students, we must have been go. We must have gone, but we everybody come here. So come and sit. This is choke. What do we do now? How do you pay our their fees and all that? Because processes, it's before the results will come now. I still will say these issues to come up. So what did I in place, prevent all these things? Who does that? They say much is able to gold and green and whatever. So the green way for most of your ones are when you are done, you said the gold students. When you're school, then you look at them. But also, be our emperor has said, yeah, it's going to go to stampede. You should create centers in every region. But also, be emperor, look at how the whole place is choked. How can we save everybody? It's bad, seriously.
In fact, we don't like what is going on in Ghana. The government should sit up. We don't like what is going on. It should sit up and see what is going on. Look at the parents over here. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go, where to stand. So it should see it to us. It should see.
What is your peculiar problem?
Go here, come here, go here, come here. That's our problem. If you go to the school, the name is not there. If you come to the computer, the name is on the computer here. But if you go to the school, there's no name over there. So go here and come here. We don't like it.
Jamestown, let's go school or Jamestown. Jamestown, one name. You did start telling you don't say how to go school. They say five school to call your beer. Or to feel also had a money. I didn't. I'm about Haru. My friend was having some calling for.
Eh? I'm about Hanu process listening.
Yeah, processing is bad. I'm not for calling. I've seen about processing the hospital. What is going on? Let's be PRO. What I do myself. Say, be okay. Me from my first time, say, oh, boy. And you're okay. I'm the share.
My brother, bro, he wish I said government. Omoya there, they no move to me.
So I feel free. So free to be because they say, Papa, now, or say, on your disadvantage. Need them, say, over 50 million. Say, I didn't back. Over 50 million, say, I didn't back 50 million. Or be capital for them on the because of school.
My work attend Viera International. She didn't get any school. I didn't get even one school. Why?
Well, how did you find the system after you
Hello. Hello.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the line kept dropping, but I believe you were hearing the sound, the thing I was showing you.
Yes, yes.
Try. Yeah, it's almost done. So
I completed Grace International School, but I had self-placement. I didn't get none of my school choices, so they gave me Math Methodist Girls. And the Math Methodist Girls, they gave me day instead of boarding. So working from Tema to Manfe, Eastern Reading is a very far journey, so I want them to do something about it. And they've given me green. I was supposed to go to school today, but now I'm here looking for a school to go. So now what's the problem?
So for you, the problem is that the school, although you've got a school, is in a different region and it's impossible for you to attend.
So they are supposed to change it to boarding for me because living Tema to Eastern Reading is a very far journey, so they should do something about it. What I don't understand, people are getting 30, are getting higher schools. We had 9 and those kinds of things, so are not getting schools. Why?
We live at Achimota, and then you expect someone to go to Ho, a day school, or in the north, day school. No. Even that didn't come online. That didn't come on the school he selected. It didn't come. He didn't get the school he selected. He selected technical schools, but none of them came. And then now we have to come here for a personal selection, which is supposed to be done online. This is 2019 Ghana. This is supposed to be done online. All this number of people, you can't expect to get all these kids into school by the time school opens. School is even opened already. How do you expect all these people to get to school between this period? You can't.
So take me through the process. When his results came out, you found out what grade he had. What did you do after?
When the results came out, he got, I think, aggregate 28 or something, which is bad, a little. It's bad. But at least the technical schools he selected, he should have gotten 1. You see, okay, we understand he didn't get that. And then we followed up by, they said you have to go online and then see the available schools. When we checked the available schools, they were all far away. Those are not the schools he got, but available schools. Then later on, we heard that we should come here. And then Friday, even people have been here since Thursday, they've not gotten schools yet. And you can see, people are throwing bags. I don't know. You see, people are throwing bags. They said they are paying some money. I don't know. When it's your turn, you have to pay something. So they are putting money in the bag and then throw to the top for their kids. I don't know. You can't do this.
The Banico School was St. Lawrence. When you aggregate 12, Monday and your copy Kiano. When you Prampa College, that was the first choice, science. It is reporting there, no, Kumasi Metropolis. Prampa College, first choice. The science, the course only science, general science. I mean, I do school one man. I quality this system or school more view. And now the brothers I follow up. Some course I did not course. So I could do school. Almost said they need system on to almost me find a man in a year. A team like Kraha now almost and I banned they were post to Aqualano. All right. It is said, Messi Master Bibia or when you almost the school almost to me. Timim Laha. Ask me by a menu biampa. Madame how. Equacotent to my badia. Madaroma, Mumwami, and now by
I'm coming to change place for my ward. Unfortunately, when I came here, what I saw here is unfortunate. To be frank with you, I never seen it before in my life. For education, people looking for school, placements changing and other. It is surprising. It is a security threat for the nation. So it's better the government have to do something for it now, as quickly as possible. Because what I'm seeing here, if it continue like this, it will not be fair. So they should make decentralization to all the regions. So the people will dispute, they will share the people among the regions. And then all the people will not come here to come and queue. I came here 3 o'clock at dawn. I was at 3 o'clock. Up to now, I don't know my position yet. And then what I'm seeing, I don't have the physical strength to force at the enter. Then even those who are forcing, some are collapsing. I wouldn't about 3 people collapsing now. So I want to tell the big men in charge, that they should do everything possible to solve this problem because it is a real threat to the nation.
Okay, so I guess we have an idea of what the case is about, isn't it? And we've seen the challenges that the parents were talking about and some of the wards were discussing as of 2019. Now, what do you think? Do you think it was a technical problem, a technological problem, or it was a human issue? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Emmanuel. Yes, please, I will repeat again. If your background is less noisy, just so that it doesn't become like I have to be asking, hello, have you heard me? Yeah. All right. So, Emmanuel.
So it was more of both technical and social problem because
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, it was both a social and technical problem because
yeah, I'm losing you here, Emmanuel.
You said?
I'm losing you. Your network seems
Okay, and then let me step back. Okay. Sorry.
Seem to fluctuate. Okay, please continue.
Okay. So it was both a technical and social problem because on the social side, people were frustrated.
Who else would like
had
to comment? I think.
Hello.
Yes, Emmanuel, I'm listening.
Okay. Some were complaining that they had to walk long journey in order to come over at the Independence Square in order to select some schools in which they could get for their children or what. And also, some were complaining that the system were actually not in favor of them because some actually had good grades and then they were given schools that were far away from their location. So that's why I see both as a social and more of a technical problem.
Perfect, perfectly. Well put, Emmanuel. Well put, Emmanuel. It's good from the beginning. You are looking at it from a socio-technical perspective. That you realize that it is not more or less like some sort of technical problem only, or is it like a social problem only? Because in some cases you hear people making allegations of people paying 50 million or being made to pay some amount of money in order to secure the award some schools. However, others too were blaming the computer. You see, so in this very case, the first question we'd like to look at is, let's identify the various business processes of the GES in the context of, so we are limiting the business process in the context of placement and selection of schools, of courses of schools. What do you think would be the business process of the GES with regards to that very context? Hello. Hello? Oh, wow.
Hello, sir.
Hi, sir.
Guys. I'm not really getting it. Please, at least 3 of you should turn on your mics. 3 of you should turn on your mics. Either and I will end the class. 3 of you should turn on your mics. 3. Adora's own is on. Iris. Yeah. Yes, good. Please keep your mics open. Keep your mics open. Okay, so what do you think are the business processes of the GES, the Ghana Educational Service, in the context of placements and selection of schools and courses?
Sir,
Yes.
I think one business process is that the GES submits forms to various schools. And then these forms are given to students to provide the choices that they want. That's the schools that they want to go to.
Okay. Okay. So, but prior to that, you see, all schools too are underneath GES. And so the schools would, as you are saying, they will have to compile the list of the schools that have been selected by the students, right? Mohammed, don't turn
Yes, sir.
off your. No, don't turn it off. Don't turn it off. Keep it on. So then with that, what they will do is that they will just have to submit it to is it WAEC or the GES wing that deals with placement of schools. They would enter it into the computer, right?
Yes, sir.
Then as and when the results are released, they will have to match up the results with the schools that have been selected.
Yes.
Yes, and then send it.
Yes.
But if you think about this very process, right, you realize that for us, for those of us that went without the GES process, we barely encountered this glitch, these issues that the parents raised in 2019. We barely heard about students saying that they have been thrown to places where there are no boarding houses. Okay. So what do you think would have amounted to this very problem? Hello? Okay, General.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I think it's technical. I think it's purely technical. I'm sure I think the system wasn't adept to handle that amount of people. So it ended up glitching. Because I think in a way, because as compared to olden days, you go and they manually select you based on your grades. And I feel like it's so rigged system in a way because it was something. If you consider the way the placement done. So I think for me, because of the technology, that was like the main reason.
All right, General. That's good. So you are looking at it more from the technical perspective. Let's hear Adora. Let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think it's manipulation of data. Like, so it's like when people select and the others go to pay to change their schools, they have to make amendments. So they remove this one and put this one here and place this one here. So the data was manipulated and it confuses the whole system. Probably that's why they encounter this kind of problem.
Okay, so yours is manipulation of the data. And
Yes, sir.
manipulation of the data by who? By who? By the system?
Yes, by the system administration. Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Who else would like to also give
Sir, I'd like to give a suggestion. I would like to give our mind to.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, we are listening. Jeff.
Yeah, so you see, first of all, I think I think before the pre-SHS, there was this placement system that we're using, and it did not account to any problem that was faced before 2019. But after Leonardo brought the free education, a lot of policies were being put in place. For example, the green badge and then the yellow badge, and a lot of students who were being given the opportunity to also go to school. So in that way, they had to change maybe the algorithms or maybe how the system used to work previously to a way that is going to acclimatize to the new changes that the president brought. So in this way, because this was the first time that it was being implemented, it was going to bring it brought about these problems that came about. You see, because before the new policy that Nado brought about free education, I never heard about this glitch until he brought it. So it was a new algorithm or a new system that they were trying to bring up to acclimatize the new policies that Nado brought. So that brought about a technical problem. That is my.
I think that's a deeper insight of the matter. So if we have an understanding here, you realize that the issue, and I like the fact that most of you are looking at it from a more social and also technical perspective. And it's clear that, you see, what is so clear now is that the system. Now, before I even jump into what is clear, you see, one man was like, the system doesn't work. The system doesn't work. What do you think is the system that he was referring to? What do you think is the system that he was referring to?
So I think it's the information system that is used for the placement.
The what?
The information system that is used for the placement.
Which is what exactly?
The computer.
Okay. Who else would like to also try?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, please. It's also the people, because I listened to the earlier submissions of my mates and I realized that it's not entirely a system issue, but also we can also see the social aspect, because we are seeing that the only way that you are able to post somebody to a school that doesn't have boarding house is if you don't even know that the school doesn't have a boarding house to begin with, which means that the human factor on the system is primarily the issue, and that human factor is feeding into the technological factor, which is bringing the problem. So we are seeing a continuous chain of problem where one side feeds into the other, the human feeds into the technological, then the technological produces another error, and like that. So it keeps going like that. So I think that the system that the person is talking about is also about the human as well as the technology.
Okay. So that is very good, Emmanuel. The thing is this, right now with the course you are doing, which is MIS, you see, when the guy said the system does not work, though unbeknownst to him, he's just talking about probably the computer. Or by, you see, in Ghana, normally when people say the system is not working, it's not limited to the computer, is it? You see, from level 100, we studied information systems, and the definition was all things about the computer plus people. Right? Now, last, the technical definition of an information system. system, which gives it a more rich look at the system that he's probably talking about, that it is not working. In actual sense, what he's referring to is not just the computer plus the people, plus the organization, that's plus GES, plus the government. That entire system, remember, is a system. So from a technical perspective, it will be like they take input, they process, they return output. That very system wasn't working. And we clearly see that why it is not working is because there is a and take this very importantly, there is a misalignment between what? Between the technological aspect and the social aspect, which clearly indicate that there was a lack of understanding of the social problem that they wanted the computer to solve. They really did not understand it very well. They may have thought of it that it was just a matter of an algorithm matching up. However, when the system was deployed, we realized that it wasn't just a matter of algorithm. And in order for them to ameliorate the situation by probably bringing in some band-aid solutions, what they did was to, just as Emmanuel and Jeff were talking about, was to add up more policies. So the green and the red and those stuff comes in. However, as quick and easy that solutions were, they were what? Band-aid solutions that they were trying to use to cure a symptom of a larger problem. And the problem being that they had no understanding of what the system was even supposed to solve. And you remember from project management, we've talked about what? We've talked about the aspect that the technology you are going to deploy, it's not going to sit in, and it's going to interact within a social, have a good grasp of what that technology is, why that technology exists, what the technology is going to solve, who is going to use the technology. You see it? And so you realize that because of that clear misunderstanding of what was going on, the computer now becomes another problem. And so instead of people seeing the technology as a way of solving a problem, now the technology comes in and then it is now becoming a problem, a challenge. And people are wishing that they were sticking with the old methods. And why? Because the old methods, we never heard of parent payment. Even if it was happening, it wasn't as broad as this. We never heard of students complain that I've been sent to a school that does not have a boarding house, but I'm very far away from the school. These key things indicated clearly that there was something amiss. Please, do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Good. So the system we talk about, we are talking about an information system. And that information system here, we are not looking at just a technological system. We are looking at what? A socio-technical system that dwells in a socio-technical paradigm. Human beings are there. So you can see the frustrations of parents that were talking, including also the wards that were also channeling their issues out there. And clearly, it indicates that something was not done right. Now, if you are an MIS personnel and you have been invited to go and resolve this issue, what, with all the things we've just talked about, what would have been the solution that you would propose? Iris. Hello? What would be the solution that you propose? I think Iris is not by the machine. Adora, Aaron, Arnold, Bismarck, what solutions would you propose if you are the MIS personnel? Like you've been deployed there at the square. What would be your first action?
So me personally, I think if the time that's going to take to solve this issue is going to be a longer time, I would suggest we go back to the old method. That's without the ways people are being placed previously compared to how people are being placed now, because the time that would take to solve the issue is going to be more. And at the time, it's going to delay the academic calendar.
Okay, that's good. So you would just say, so whilst they are at the stadium, you would just tell them that let's halt and then let's go back to the old one.
Yes,
think it might solve the problem.
Well, it's going to take some time, but instantly, no.
Okay. Lai, what would you say? Lai.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. What would you say?
I'm sorry, sir. My network was disrupted, so I've not been.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Iris, is Iris? Here. Okay. Christopher, voting those who are participating and those who are not.
Hello, sir.
So, yeah, Mohammed. Yes, Mohammed.
So with this, I think the first step to take in this scenario is to first of all check the people in charge of the functional unit, which is in charge of the information, the maintenance of the information system, is to check their business, their processes very well to see that they are really doing what they are expected to do. Because they influence the information.
I've been deployed there right now, and the issue is happening. What would you do?
So, can I try? So can I try?
Yeah.
So I think the first thing I'm supposed to do is refresh the system so that all those people that paid to enter some certain schools, all those things will first be cleared from the system. So that social problem of the bribery will cause the technology aspects like to refresh. Then that will cause everything to restart afresh. Then I think if that happens, everything will be fair, because I think all this was caused by the social problem of bribery.
Okay. Now, yeah, hello. Someone wants to try again.
Yes, I think they can as well let the schools open, like just like the university system. So then the students will have to apply for the schools themselves, because some of them do have good grades from the news. So they can as well go and apply for the school. And if the school really wants them, the school can take them. And then they keep applying to other schools that way.
I'm not really getting the point right.
Like, so instead of going through GS, they can directly apply, like GS can allow the schools to directly pick students, since their system was giving them problems. And the people over there were a lot. And I think like not most of them want the same school. So the schools can directly just take the people with the good grades instead of going through GES to solve that problem.
But you see, what you need first, so in as much as that's a good idea, what you needed to look at first is the fact that we need to really understand the problem well. See, if you say schools should accept students by themselves directly, we've defeated the purpose of equality in education. Some schools are going to only accept students with higher grades and good, let's say, good financial backgrounds. Some are going to accept students who are coming from good areas. If you happen to be coming from maybe a very remote town, there is a tendency you might not be accepted. Besides, if the students are to apply themselves, not everyone is at a place whereby the internet is working properly. So some may not even be able to apply. And so putting that in the hands of the schools will lead to a big problem. Are you seeing the story now?
Yes, sir. But so with every system, there'll be people who will negatively be affected. So, like, I think this will be the best solution because the system will either ways not be able to serve everyone, even with what they were doing over there. I still think that.
What's your full name? You should change your name. What's your full name, Adora?
Yes, I'm trying to change it, but it's not working.
Yeah, you may have to log out and log in. But what's the name?
Jason.
Yeah. So one thing you need to understand is this. You don't just say it is the best plan. No, it isn't. There is always ways to think alternatively about the issues or the solutions you are presenting. You are thinking is the best plan because it's coming from your end. But you need to think about it as the best plan for the entire nation. And remember, you are only talking about this from the perspective of an urban person. Someone in the remote area wouldn't subscribe to this. And we've seen clearly places whereby certain schools, some people would not get, especially if they even detect where you are coming from. If they detect that, okay, so you said you had 9, grade 9. Well, we are looking out for maybe, let's say we are an institute that we are, or an SHS, we are looking out for people with very good backgrounds. You will be prejudiced against it. The reason why this exercise exists is for the government to ensure that there is equality in education. That is why the government does the placement. That's why, so this very day, they will say, you choose what you want to choose. And then we will do the placement for you. So we look at the schools and then we see whether, okay, this school, let's take you to Chimu. Let's take you to Accra Boys or Accra or whatever, based on certain criteria that the government sees that you fall. So if you don't fall within these categories that the government have set out, then we can accord you with the school. Mind you, most of these schools are government-based schools. In fact, of the schools that you are going to apply to are government-based. And so if they are to give the power to the teachers or to the headmaster, the system again. And so for us to be able to have a better solution to it, I'm drawing your mind to the fact that we need to have a better understanding of what is happening. So someone would say, okay, let me just, as an MIS person, seeing this problem, let's pause. Let's pause the whole process for maybe one week. And let's try to understand the concerns properly. And then let's see whether we are going to tweak our system to fit it, or we'll just scrape it off entirely. Now, I think next year we are going to go through that particular cycle again. I don't know how best it's going to be like. But I have some links down there for you to really go over them. I'm leaving the solutions part as a question 3 for you. Go over them and in your spare time as group, discuss them. And when we meet in person, I'll be looking out for your solutions. All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. But your solutions, make sure that you really understand the problem. So it will be best you itemize the problems well. What is really going on before you just jump into the whole process, okay? All right, so we've talked about what a business process is, and we said these are routine or set of activities that lead to the production of a product or a service. And these activities, these processes, they are supported by what? The flow of information, the flow of material, the flow of knowledge. So we remember our famous example, which is cocoa cane. The activities that they embark upon, it is supported by some flow of materials, like the corn, like they're going to mash the corn. All these are some sort of what? Materials and also some information we need that would enable this business process to be successful. So for example, if you take like, let's say, manufacturing, a product assembly process, a quality assurance process, a corrective presentative process. So these are small tasks that are embedded in that entire business process. Okay. Think about finance. They will do invoicing, a billing process, risk management processes. Think of banking. We've talked about withdrawals and depositing, customer onboarding, credit check. Travel agents who will be interested in their business process will be trip booking and agent billing. You see, so realize that the business processes are actually encompassed with what? Materials, information, knowledge, and set of activities. Okay, so and now there are bottlenecks with regards to business problem. Now I think Mr. Solomon at one point will be teaching business process engineering. I should think so. So there are bottlenecks to business processes. Like the bottlenecks are more or less like challenges. Okay, slowing or halting of a process at a stage due to human or machine fault or error. You could go to the bank and the internet is not working and they'll tell you that the server is down, right? Duplication of work and redundancy. So you realize that some business processes, you realize we are repeating the processes. Sometimes too, we are overworking. So we went to, in recent times, I went for a conference, and the conference we were able to company in Ghana here, and that manufacturing company, one thing is that, so when they bottle, let me use the word bottle. So when they bottle their things, right, they manually using their hands to wrap the label around it. And they also have to be washing it. They wash it like twice. They wash the bottle like twice in the process before they can allow the guy who does the wrapping or the wrapping of the label coming. Now, when you think about this, you come to recognize something critical here. This is it. That, you see, why are they even washing it twice? They could actually get some sort of disinfectant system that can do this once, right? They could get a machine to just do the labeling, which will rather increase what? Productivity and efficiency. So certain normal business processes can be quite inefficient. They could lead to duplication of work. All right. One thing too is that one of the challenges related to business processes is lack of visibility. Management does not have a way of viewing where processes stand, right? What their status is and how they are performing generally and specifically. So you can't even, because they are doing things manually in this case, you realize that when you visit the place, if you are a manager, you wouldn't know, maybe even the one doing labeling maybe there could be some leak somewhere with regards to the item and they wouldn't know. You see it? And so that lack of visibility can become a problem, and maybe a customer can buy one of their items or product and it could lead to some consequences in the future. Then there is the issue also with regards to integration issues, okay, whereby we are trying to integrate the technology with existing systems. And these sometimes are incompatible. Please, you understand it. They can be quite incompatible. And because one, incompatible on the level of human knowledge deficits, we could also have the issue with regards to the existing system that is there, which could be a manual system. For us to be able to integrate the technology into, we may have to re-engineer the business process. We have to rethink about the business process, which in itself can also be a problem. And so this can lead to some malfunctions, and it can be quite challenging for businesses. Okay, and I think you've seen this very slide before where we talk about the various functional areas and the business processes associated with them. And if you just want to confirm, it's similar to what you are seeing here. Okay, which is the same here. So if you take a business process like this, let's say we are trying to manufacture, we are a shoe manufacturing company. What happens is that, so there is a manufacturing side. But before that, the person meets the sales agent, the credit, which is what accounting, where they check the credit, approve the credit, generate the invoice. During the approving the credit stage, the manufacturing, because now we have actually taken the money. So the manufacturing begins to what? Assemble the product, and they will ship the product. Please, do you understand it? This is like an overview of what a business process would look like. However, when technology is introduced into the business process, two major things actually happen. Same process. Remember, I just said that it's that we are going to re-engineer the business process, because in bringing the new technology, all that we are trying to say is that this existing technology needs to change. Secondly, is enabling entirely new processes that are capable of transforming the business. So we increase efficiency by cutting down on redundancy and duplication. So in the example I gave, whereby I realized that this organization, in this case, they are using human hands to do the labeling, that is quite inefficient, because you can see that they can have products about 1,000, and one individual would have to be alternating with another, all right, to ensure that they label these products. And when we introduce in IT, what happens is that it leads to automation of some of the steps which were manual, right? There is also enabling entirely new processes that are capable of transforming the businesses. Okay, so change of flow of information, replace sequential steps with parallel steps. So what happens is that once we also introduce IT, there is a tendency that the business is going to transform in a way we have not even anticipated, such that there is also the tendency for us to see new business models coming up. Okay, there's going to be a change of flow information. We may replace sequential steps with parallel steps. So if you look at this, whilst accounting is going on, production is also going on, okay? Eliminate delays in decision making, because now it is the system, which is in this case, the technical system, that is doing the job. Please, do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Any question at this point? Any question at this point? Okay. All right. Now let's look at this. Since we are talking about integrating the system into the business, we turn our attention to the types of information systems that are available. We have four main types of information systems. We have the transaction operation system, which in some books you see as operational information systems. So transaction processing systems, management information systems, and that is like some sort of misnomer, because we are doing information management information system, but there is also a technology itself, a software itself, or a system itself known as what? Management information systems. Then there is what? Decision support systems, and there are what? Systems for business intelligence. Okay. Now let's look at transaction processing systems. Now, the transaction processing systems, their focus is to record daily routines. So they are more about what? The routine work, okay, daily transactions necessary to conduct the business. So for example, if you go to the bank, the transaction processing systems will be where the tellers are. they are interfacing with what? With the customers who constantly will be depositing additional money. Are you seeing it? So sales, if you go to, let's say, shopping, the ShopRite or the Accra Mall, we have a sales order entry, payroll, and shipping. And allows, with one thing about the TPS, so we can, it is also known as what? The TPS, okay, is that it allows managers to monitor status of operations, relations with environment, external. So the manager can come look at the TPS and look at how the business is just performing generally in a very broad way. Oh, like let's say you are a worker at the shop, right? You visit one till agent and you look at the amount of money that she may have gotten that day. You look at the number of people he or she may have served, and all you say is, oh, things are going well, or today we didn't get a lot of customers. And at the constitutional level, okay, that is with regards to the level of management that uses TPS, it is what? The operational level. The operational level is that degree or that level that what deals with what? It deals with the TPS. So the tellers who are operational level workers, they work hand in hand with what? A TPS system, like maybe the front part of what? That's enterprise planning system. So the TPS, one key definition, one key characteristic of the TPS is what? Predefined goals or structured goals or decision making. So think about the ATM. The ATM is a classic example of what a TPS is. The ATM, all that it does is to just take in information, taking your request and spit out money as you desire, so long as you have money in your account. If you want to deposit, these days we have ATM that can do the depositing for you. Please, do we understand it?
Yes, sir.
Any question, please? So the principal purpose of the system at this level is to answer routine questions. Remember, we established that the operational level workers focuses on what? Routine flow. Decisions are predefined, they are pre-structured. And so the system that is a TPS is built in such a way that it can answer routine questions. So when you go to the ATM, if, for example, Jeff went to the ATM to withdraw money, and Adora also went to the ATM to withdraw money, you realize something, that it is the same questions that the ATM is going to ask. The ATM is not going to ask a question that is different from what Jeff, from what Jeff had. Good morning. How can we help you? Quick cash or balance inquiry or withdrawal, and you need to click on one of them. You can't do anything beyond what the ATM has been pre-programmed to do. Do we follow?
Yes, sir.
Good. So
yes, we do.
Yes. So we remember I was saying that the TPS asks questions of how many parts are in the inventory, what happened to Mr. Smith. So it's more of general-based questions, just to see how the organization or the business is performing that day. Okay. So you can look at a TPS, this is like a diagram. So this is like more or less like an employee management system, whereby the information of the employees are saved in a data file. Okay. We can generate some reports, which we'll be talking about the report soon. Okay. And we can have a dashboard to see what is going on. Now we'll come back to this dashboard and management report soon. Now that there is the other one known as what? The MIS, which is what? The management information systems, which serve middle management. And they provide reports on firms' current performance based on data from what? The TPS. So the middle management, that's the middle management type of workers that we talked about, that we said they don't necessarily have a typical routine workflow. We realized that the type of, let's information system, that which is MIS, this very routine question, but they are more periodic, long term. Okay, what was the year's sales? You see, and they have little analytic capability, meaning they can do some analysis with this very of statistics with this system. And so the questions we ask at using the MIS is, are things going well? Is everything all right?
Yes, sir.
I hope we understand it.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you look at this, you can see that there is what? The combination of what? The TPS and the MIS. Now, as I'm talking about this, you should understand that most often than not, these technologies we are talking about, or these categories of technologies we are talking about, are all summed up into one. Okay, so the TPS, we have order file, production master file, so order processing system, material. This whole part is going to deal with what is happening every moment of the business. Then we will generate reports, and these reports become what? The MIS data files, which will be displayed on the dashboards for managers to actually see and make some little bit of analysis. So let's say we build a church every day, people will be picking, and then they will be definitely become the team. MIS part will be, okay, so the church is to analyze the growth of the church in terms of finance, the growth of the church in terms of what? In terms of the attendance. Are you getting it? That
Yes,
becomes MIS. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So in that case, you realize that this can be a sample report of an MIS. A sample report of an MIS. Okay. All right. So look at the sample. Here we have product description, sales region, actual sales, planned, and planned versus actual. And this is the data. So you see, we can do some bits and pieces of statistics here. All right. You could see that we have 4469, that's the product code. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. And we can see this was the actual sales, this was what we're anticipating. And we're able to get some sort of comparative analysis here. Okay, there's a sample of an MIS report. Remember that we said that there are different types of information systems. And we've looked at the first two, which is what? The TPS and what? The MIS. Now, there is also what? The decision support system. And these are basically the business intelligence systems. Okay. Hello? Sorry, I think a call came through and then it just disorganized there. Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the business intelligence software, basically business intelligence systems enable us to make decisions. Now, these are not used at the operational level per se, or the MIS level at some. They are normally used by the senior level managers, where they are able to make deeper analysis of what are like the online analytic processing, and you've used some mathematical models to explain what is happening inside your data. Mobile business intelligence, real-time, quite different, a lot of different ones that are available. But keep in mind, the basic thing you need to understand with regards to business intelligence is that are used to enable us or facilitate in decision-making. Okay, so decision support system. So you see, this is the first time we are seeing this, that they support non-routine what? Decision-making. Okay, so they try to answer questions like, what will be our ROI when it rains after we have increased our production? So you see, this is a little bit of a deep question. You can't guess this. Happen if we are to increase our maize production, would that mean that we are going to get more sales? It might not be true. You could increase your maize productions, but then it might not necessarily lead to an increment in ROI. Please, do we follow?
Yes, sir.
We are able to pull information, and if you remember the diagram, the pyramid diagram we did with regards to the various levels of management, the bottom section, and I told you that the bottom section is big because that is where the data resides. So once all the data has been accumulated, they move upwards to where? The decision support system, where the decision support system will be able to use it to be able to help us understand the data right and also make informed decisions. Now, this is another case. How do you think BI can solve some of the aspect of GES computer placement? So with regards to what we were learning earlier, now we are talking about these types of systems. How do you think we could have solved the issue? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Lai, please talk.
Yeah, I think using BI, we can have, if GES has been collecting data and have been manipulating it to get some valuable information out of it, they would know the locations in Ghana where they are more prone to have system errors or complaints from guardians and students. So in my opinion, I think they can dedicate more resources, as in they would dedicate more time to make sure that the prone areas have error corrections done faster than other areas. I'm not quite sure if you understand.
Yeah, I think what you are saying is in line. One key thing, and it's good that you are linking it with the BI. You see, prior to they starting this process, they could have gathered in, because BI itself can help you to understand how things are going on. Okay, rather than, so that's why trying to understand some of these things before you embark on the project matters. Iris, your hand is up. Now you are back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went downstairs to go and pee.
Okay, so Iris, I'm listening.
Also, this just another example, like another, I'm answering the question, not like with Nila's example, anything. But then I also think that like with BI, they can track the performance of the school selection program to see if it's working or not, so that if they know that they can scrap it, they'll scrap it entirely or improve upon it.
Yeah. So yours could be that they scrap the system based on the performance of the program itself, isn't it? For the program. I don't know whether they did a pilot section before they rolled it out on the mass, on the public data, and for MIS people in the class, we'll be looking at next semester. You realize that data is a critical aspect of really make good decisions. And it's important data to be able to make the right decisions. You see it, and which clearly you could see that this was not there. Yeah, which was not there. It was like kind of, we've got an idea, let's digitize, and then we just jump into digitization, and then things start happening, and then we now add more policies to just calm the issues down, and the policies also escalate, and then things just get out of hands. Are you getting it? So the essence of the BI is to gather more data so that you can make the right decisions before you embark on anything you would like to do. So when it comes to the decision support systems, which the BI is part, we have, they serve the middle management too sometimes. They are non-routine decision making. So we are not always making strategic decisions. It's done at some level and within some period of time. And we have different types of DSS. We have the model driven, which is based on the model of the business. Okay, and we also have data driven DSS. That is more of like, so think of, let's say, a Forex trading DSS. It's all about consuming data. So the data that is coming in, we are just using it to predict future chances of a trade. Now, when it comes to model driven, think about, let's say, the post office and freight. You see, we would have to consistently making decisions with regards to the number of items that are going to be on board and where they are going to be, how they are going to be delivered. All these things, a user needs to also sit somewhere and be observing it. Now, that is more or less like a model-driven approach of DSS. So like, we could say there is a dashboard, there's an analytical model, port distance, fuel consumption, ship charter, and ports. And all these data will be analyzed within a particular model, maybe a mathematical model, and which you are going to get this out of. You would have it nicely displayed on the screen. Okay, so the BIs are a class of software that enable us to make decisions out of analyzing current and historical data to find patterns and trends. Okay, so we have the executive support system, which is mainly for the executive of the organization. You have the decision support system, in which the management information, the middle managers and then the executive both would be using. Okay, so when it comes to the executive support, this one is support only the senior management. And they address non-routine questions. They incorporate data about external events, Okay, there is a dashboard with real-time view of firms' financial performance. Okay, so you could get something like this. Okay, I should think this is some sort of comprehensive, accurate information for decision making. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the constituency perspective. The TPS is used by, or it supports what? The operational level employees. The MIS and decision support system is employed by what? The middle managers. And then the executive support systems is employed by what? The executives. That's the main executives. Okay, so TPS is the major source of data for all other systems, as I've already said. And the ES is the recipient of data from all other systems. Okay, data may be exchanged between the systems, but in reality, most business systems are loosely integrated. So you see some organization, they have the TPS separate, they have the MIS separate, you have the ES separate. It's because the organization itself is fragmented. These days, with regards to enterprise applications coming up, which have always been the system for a while now, these things have become quite better. Okay, so we can think of a near to collapse organization scheme out of its business process and identify how information systems can enable optimization of its business, leading to better models. And I think for this one, you would have to do it. Now, today I won't touch on the end because I want us to meet in person for us to discuss it. So the question that I leave you with is these two. That is, how do we manage all these systems? Because we have MIS, TPS, IS, DSS, ESS. How do we manage all these systems? How expensive can they be? And how can they even talk to each other? Please reflect on these questions as you also think about this. All right, enterprise applications before we move to collaborations. So I would pause here. So today, actually, the reason why we are having a class online is I traveled, I got here 12 midnight, almost 1. I was hoping that I could get here on time so that we could meet in person, but I realized when I got here, it was late. I couldn't meet you guys. So I think I need to give you I promised to give you guys an assignment. I've not done it. But what I would say is what I was telling you earlier on about the case we started. Please, as a group, each of you should propose solutions with regards to what is here. We will discuss it further when we come to class, God willing, next week. Please, at this moment, any question? Iris.
Okay.
Any question, please?
No.
All right. Please, class, any question? Mohammed, Matthew, Laye, Amofa, any question? Okay. So I would rest it here and I think I need to give you guys an assignment. Please, when is Miss Sem?
Sir, you gave us an assignment last week.
Pardon me?
You gave us an assignment last week.
Oh, for real?
Yes, about complementary
I
assets.
gave you an assignment last week.
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. See, a lot happened last week.
And I thought you already gave us an assignment to do.
All right. Then this week, what I will leave you with is the cases that we've discussed and the question 3 of the case. Discuss it. I'll let you off this week. There will be no assignment this week, apart from the discussions you are going to do. So next week, when we meet, we would go deep into it. With this model, okay? All right.
Okay, sir.
So have a lovely day and let's link up, God willing, next week. Bye.
All right, same to you. Bye.
Bye.